Gustave Courbet, better known as Gustave Courbet, was an artist and leader of the Realist movement, dedicated to presenting his independent style in art, which became a source of inspiration for Cubists and Impressionists. He was born on June 10 of 1819 in the beautiful city of Ornans, France. Courbet was the oldest and the only male in the family of 4 children, son of a prosperous farmer named Sylvie Courbet and his wife Eleanor Regis. At age 14, painting started to attract his attention. Courbet attended College Royal and College of Fine Arts, and at age 20, he moved to Paris to study rights. Soon after his attention went back to painting, he preferred to study arts. He studied Louvre's masters and created several self-portraits: The Desperate Man, The Sculptor, The Cellist, and The Man with a Pipe. Courbet's first painting being accepted was Courbet with a Black Dog. It was painted when he was 25. This painting was about a familiar and domestic environment, which wasn't usual in those times. In those times, the paintings were mostly about historic, mythological, and religious events. At this time, Courbet wasn't sure about his professional future. He toured in Belgium and the Netherlands, which made him realize the importance of portraits of everyday life. In the 1840s, Courbet began inspiring younger artists with his work. Eventually, he began painting social issues that were happening in those times, and now his work was considered realism. What helped him introduce these topics to his artworks were the customs and traditions of his native town, Ornans. Courbet's most famous painting, The Painter's Studio, was rejected by the jury, so he decided to open his own exhibition called the Pavilion of Realism. Courbet was at the beginning inspired by Leila and Victor Hugo's work. He lost interest and then became inspired to create more realistic artworks. When he was on tour in Belgium and Netherlands, he was mostly inspired by Johannes Vermeer and Rembrandt's works, besides some other Dutch artists' works. Soon after, he was now the inspiration for other artists. During this time, slave trading began and became really popular all around the world. Nationalism began to grow around Europe. Social conflicts were happening throughout Europe thanks to all the wars and battles happening in this time. Also, France regained his monarchy in 1823. Next, in 1830s, the Industrial Revolution of France took place, which caused several revolutionary crises in France. Besides, there was a whole new evolution in terms of discoveries, inventions, machine design, etc. In terms of power, liberalism began to become more popular than monarchy, and Louis Philippe gave up his throne thanks to having trouble finding order, which the power then changes to Napoleon Bonaparte, now named as president. This again caused a revolutionary crisis in France. In conclusion, Courbet was living in times of crisis when he was an artist. This impacted his works even though he had a unique style in those times. Courbet mainly focused on objects he observed in his surroundings. In his artworks, he transmitted traditions, customs, ideas, and events happening, etc., in where he lived. For me, Courbet mainly transmitted a different way of seeing the world. As I said before, in those times, normally artists were focused on historic and religious events, while Courbet was the perfect example of following your own path. Normally, we are used to do what other people do, the most popular things, because we think that will make us popular. Courbet did something different and unique to others, and that's the way he stands out in society.